see what happened here. Boy, they're stuck in there everywhere, aren't they? Watch that oil dripping. It is split, guys. All those springs that I found in the bottom of the clutch inspection hole right here. There's a bunch more in here, and there's a whole bunch of them all the way around here, around the outside of this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get the impact, and we're going to buzz that clutch plate off there quick, and we'll look at it and see what it looks like. All right, looking at this right here. You look in here at these things, it's spun clear out in there all the way around. If you can see that right there. There's supposed to be gears on this, or cogs, and they're completely wiped off there. And it's worn pretty bad on the tractor, on the rear end part itself. But that's could be a lot of our problems here. Both of these shafts are worn pretty good right here. So we'll get her on apart and we'll see what else it looks like here and go from there.
You got it? Everything's kind of falling apart.
That's a spun out clutch right there. What we did here is we took the pressure plate off in the clutch. The clutch fits in here. And then this is the pressure plate. And what happens is, with this clutch, your throwout bearing is right here. And when you push on the clutch pedal, it moves this forward, this round thing. See how it turns like that? It moves this forward. And what that does is pushes these things forward. And what that does, I don't know if I can show it. It pushes this away from the clutch, or the clutch away from that, I don't know. But this goes in here like this, and that's your clutch right there. So what happened here is this whole inside of this spun out. These little broken springs, like I was showing you on my workbench in my last video, they sit in here like this. They sit up like that. These are springs that go in here. And there's little keepers that hold them in there. See, here's more. And then we've got this piece here. I think this piece goes like this. Then, and it's sheared all these springs all the way around here like this. And these pieces here that are bent over, hold the springs in also. So when this thing imploded, it probably made a lot of a noise. And you guys were saying in my comments that it'll really make a lot of noise if this thing comes apart, and evidently it did. Now, I wasn't driving it when it happened, so I don't know for sure what all kind of noise that it made, but this had to make quite a bit of noise when it imploded like it did. As one of the guys said, it grenaded, which, yes, it did. I think this is the problem though, guys. Alright, what I'm doing now is, I've got the old parts, the old clutch pressure plate out here, and I've got the old clutch disc out here, the one that fell to pieces. And I just want to kind of show the difference in the old one as opposed to the new one. And I got them laying here. I went to International and I got a new clutch disc here. And we'll start with the clutch disc, and I'll turn this camera on here. Alright, now here's the new one here. And then I'll show you the old one. The old one here is in pieces. So when I first showed this, I didn't know for sure where this went, but this goes on the bottom. And this goes on here like that. Then all the springs go in here right around here. Different places all the way around there. And this goes on here. Now, the reason the tractor was not moving, we'll go back here and look at this. There's two shafts in here. There's this shaft right here, which is the actual shaft that drives the back wheels. And then there's this shaft back in here. This shaft right here hooks onto the pressure plate, and I'll show that here in a second. This shaft right here goes through the clutch, which goes through here. And in this new one, it goes through here. Now the pressure plate, got a little bit of everything in here. We got identification tags and core tags and stuff like that. Alright, now the shaft that I showed you, this shaft right here is the IPTO shaft. And it actually goes through the pressure plate, which is right here. And then this whole mechanism bolts onto the flywheel of the tractor, which is that right there. We'll talk about it here in just a minute. But on the old pressure plate, when you look down in here, there's splines around the inside of this right here. And you can only see the splines clear at the very end. That's how far the splines are worn off of this pressure plate. And what this pressure plate does run, along with that IPTO shaft, the hydraulics and the power takeoff and the brakes and the power steering and such like that. So if that would have gone out, we wouldn't have had any power steering or anything. It was just ready to go out. So what we're going to do, we're going to start at the back of the engine, and we're going to put a new oil seal in, rear oil seal, and I've got one. Got one right here. We're going to put that in. Now the oil seal, you take these bolts out right here, and then this flywheel comes off. And then the oil seal goes in behind this, and then you bolt the flywheel back on. Now everything in here is basically going to be new except for the actual input shaft, because I've got a new oil seal going in. I bought a new pressure plate, I bought a new flywheel also. This flywheel has some cracks in it. That's a crack right there. There's some cracking going on right in here. And instead of fixing this, and we're just going to get another one. And we've ordered another one, and it should be here today or tomorrow, I would think. Another thing that we bought is IPTO shaft. We bought a new one of those. It comes with a kit with a bearing, a seal, and then this shaft right here. And you take off this throwout bearing right here, and then there's 3 bolts behind it, and this plate comes off, and then it's inside of there that this Pto shaft goes. And we also bought a new throwout bearing. So that's just kind of some of the things that we're going to be doing here. Like I said, we got to start by getting the oil seal in and such like that. I originally thought that we might go ahead and do the TA while we had it apart, since that shaft's in such bad shape. But since we bought this tractor and we've never run it or anything like that, we're going to go ahead and put it back together with the new clutch and the pressure plate and all that. And we're going to run it around for a while and see what else this tractor might need. We might get lucky and this will be all that it is, but we'll just have to see. So, but with the looks of that input shaft there, we're going to probably have to do something with it before too long, and that'll detail will be doing the TA also on the thing. So we're going to cut it off of there for today. And just wanted to get back with you guys. I know Kylie left you all in suspense and such on what was wrong. A lot of you guys in the comments thought you knew what was wrong, and you did. You guessed it right on. Other people thought it was the TA, which it still possibly could be. So, but like I say, we should have this back together. If we could get the parts, we should have it back together for your Saturday video, and we'll see about that. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching.